Hey guys, so here's another little update. It's been a while. It's been a couple weeks, but you know, life kind of takes over. Work. It's been a little busy, so um, a little neglect on the tank, but it's not as far as dosing or feeding or anything like that, but just trimming. So I did trim the Monte Carlo. I think that was in the last video. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but I trimmed it down a ton, and it's coming back pretty good. There's some algae on the older growth that was underneath because it's like when I cut it down, it was like when your grass gets long, tall, and you cut it and it's pale because it hasn't seen any light. It was like that. Now it's the color's coming back and it's looking pretty good. I'll try to get a good overview here. Still not sure if I like it though, honestly. It might come out. And another thing I might do is I might replace this 75. I might get a new 75. And the reason why is I resealed this tank years ago, and it's kind of coming off. And I didn't do it right properly. I mean, it worked, but the algae that's growing is actually kind of on. I don't know if I can focus in on that. It's on the silicone that's kind of flaking away from the glass. So, I mean, I'm not worried about any leaking, but it just looks horrible. So I might shop around for a new 75, and at that point I might replace the substrate. But anyway, that's another day. So we'll start from the left here. The Rotala is not working the way I planned. So what I plan on doing is cutting all the new growth off. It's not growing evenly. I trim it, trying to keep it the same length, and it's just not growing evenly. I think I just started trying to bush it out too late. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a 20 long as a grow out to start over and grab a whole bunch of Rotala at the same length, replant it back in here, and then keep trimming it at the same length from the beginning. So we'll see how that works. And I'll give you a little update on the 20 long in a couple minutes. The Kimberly is looking great. Again, everything needs to be trimmed, needs to be brought down. Everything needs to be trimmed. Finally, the AR is looking better. I have to trim off some of those old leaves, but it's looking the best it's looked in forever since it's been in this tank. And same with the AR over here. I think that's actually a true mini. I think the other one is another variant, but that's looking good too. So maybe it just took some adjusting to get, with the whole RO water and, going from tap to RO. The S Repens is looking great. I don't know what I want to do with it yet. I just love the plant, so I'm not sure. The Indica is also looking awesome. Gonna have to trim that down too. I mean, there's a ton of it, and it's growing really well. I think the colors look good. It is really growing well, and again, like I said, it seems like it's impervious to algae, and I don't know why other plants get it. And this guy, for how slow of a grower it is, it just doesn't touch it. But I do need to trim it down. So we'll go back to the butterfly. I trimmed that I think a week or two ago and spread it around, but again, I need to trim it again. And then, if you remember, I trimmed that, and that's already reaching the surface again. Same with the Reuben. I'll be trimming them today or tomorrow. And the freaking Lawia, Jesus. So I'm going to be putting a lot of this stuff up on the site if anybody wants it. I'll do some just free stuff, just pay for shipping with this because there's so much of it. I just want it gone, and I hate throwing it out. And the moss is just going insane. I still haven't found a stick I like. Actually, I haven't found a landscape that I like. I don't know what I want to do with this tank. I need some help scaping it. If anybody has ideas of where certain plants should be, how I should move them. So I really don't. I mean, I have a couple ideas, but as far as the whole total scape, aquascape, I'm still struggling. Do a little fish update, maybe. So there's the male ram. I'm turning aside, buddy. Come on. He's gorgeous. He's a good looking fish. Female's a little paler. Oh, she's right here. There she is. But even she's actually a pretty fish too. Very, very interactive fish. When I come up to the tank, they obviously they want food, but they'll just follow your finger everywhere. Good looking fish. Hopefully they breed for me in here. These were I don't know if you would call them rescue. I think I told you before, but they came from a friend of mine who was shutting down a tank, so he gave them to me, and they seem to be very happy in here. So, and the rose lines, obviously, everybody knows the rose lines. They're just gorgeous. And again, I don't know why for years, I just never noticed them. And I saw them in somebody's tank, and I just thought they were awesome. And as they get bigger, they just get more color and look better. Good looking fish. So, alright, what I'll do is, they have covered everything for the most part in here, this overgrown mess of a tank. And the angels are doing good. Let me bring it over to 20 and just give you a little update on that. Finally got my CO2 regulator in. Well, this is all just flavorings. I also make my own DIY vape juice, if you will. I'm haven't had a cigarette in 3 years. I use a vaporizer, and I make my own juice instead of spending all that money buying juice. It just can get pretty expensive. But anyway, here is the 20 long. Again, still have that bacteria or protein buildup on the surface. It's not as bad as it was before, but it's still unsightly. I got the Rotella over here that I'm going to be using to probably reset up the 75. And again, I'm going to keep, when I trim that, I'm going to bring it back. When I trim the 75, I'm going to bring it back over here and just try to, keep a bunch, grow it out over here so I can start it properly. So here's the new regulator. Finally got it. Working well. So hopefully this tank actually starts looking better. Because I remember for a while I had no CO2 in here, just using Excel or the Metroside 14, whatever. Metroside, I think it's how you say it. So I've been using that for a few months, or actually since the tank's been started. But so this thing's been, I've had it for a week now, so I guess we'll see how the tank actually starts evolving or growing with the actual CO2. Now I just have a ceramic diffuser, and it's not very efficient, obviously. So I will be upgrading to probably inline diffuser maybe, or even like the Rex Greg style reactor like I have on the 75, but we'll see. Whatever's cheaper. So just growing this stuff out, just kind of, eventually I want to turn this into a shrimp tank, I think most of you know. And I'll give you a little update on the brine shrimp tank. Over here, little basement tour. It is dirty, but again, they are going nuts. I'd take a scoop or two out a week. Focus in. Water is dirty as hell, but it seems like they like it because they keep breeding, and I feed them. Let the algae grow. I'm thinking about putting a sponge filter in here. Maybe it'll clear it up, but I do small water changes. When I do big water changes, they don't like it, and there's a little bit of die off. But it is dirty as hell, but they like it. They're thriving in it. Like I said, I have to take a scoop or two out a week, or the population is just, I guess, too big for the tank to be able to hold them, and it crashes. But it's just a fun little excuse me, fun little experiment, and the fish love them. So They're breeding all the time, and you can see all the little dots in there. There's just tons of babies in there. But you see, look at, I mean, look at that. There's 2 males on that female. All over the breeding. There's another breeding set there. There's another one coming by. That's what they do all day long. They breed. So I'm keeping the algae in there. I think that's the only thing keeping them alive and keeping the ammonia down is the algae, since I have no filtration on this thing, just the aeration. But again, it was just a fun experiment. Never tried it. Every time I tried it, I was never successful at it. Every time I tried it, I failed, and it's working now. So again, just a fun little experiment. Not very pretty, but it's just, you know, it's funny as my friends come over and look at it and they love it. I hate it. I think it's a unsightly thing in my basement, but I guess it is pretty cool to see all the little brine shrimp in there. It's like the old sea monkey tanks when you're a kid. So that is about it for the update. Here's another just overview of the tank. Again, I have to do a ton of trimming, so if anybody's interested, you can actually just private message me on the forum before I post. If there's anything in here that you want, but I think there's going to be a little bit of everything that's going to need to go out. So let me know what you guys want. Or actually, you know what? Let me know what you guys think. If there's any placement of the plants, things like that. If the Monte Carlo should go, what do you guys think? Let me know. All right, thanks guys.